All right, welcome to my channel. Today we are having an interview with the owner and creator of Flint Hills Solutions, Mr. Roger Powers. And I'm going to ask him a series of questions about the company, and anything that you need to know, please comment below and we will get these answers for you. So we'll get started. What inspired you to start Flint Hills Solutions, and how did the company come to be?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So basically, I had started Flint Hills Solutions wanting to develop a drone technology, an autonomous system that could help in emergency response applications. I used to be in the Air Force and the National Guard, the Kansas National Guard.
Thank you for your service.
Thank you. And one of my dear friends who I used to work for, Major Todd Bunting, turned out to be the Adjutant General of the state of Kansas, two-star general. We just had the Greensburg tornado had happened and blew away the town. And the general called me because he knew I was starting a drone company and starting that process. And he said, we had a problem with our response to that tornado in that we didn't have an eye in the sky and situational awareness in other counties. We were really good at focusing our responders at the actual zero place where the tornado hit, but that tornado actually spun out over several counties. And he said if we'd had a drone, an eye in the sky, we could have prioritized our resources. So we worked together and developed a program to give Kansas and the Kansas National Guard the first drone that it had ever had. And that started with Flint Hills Solutions and my team, and we grew into that. And that's basically how we got started.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. All right. Can you share the biggest challenge that you faced so far, and how did you overcome that?
Well, with any small business, the biggest challenges are sustaining your team, making sure you have the resources to develop the technology, refresh the technology. And as a small business, you're basically doing this, without a net. You're basically on your own. Mm-hmm. And so we've overcome a lot of those challenges. I think we're a pioneer in the day, but today we've survived, and the technology is state of the art and ready for adaptation to the future.
Perfect. Everything is ready to go. What makes Flint Hills drones stand out from the competitors in the drone industry?
Well, there's really no comparison. We've always focused the drone technology knowing that there's three classes of drones. There's a hobby grade drone, which has proliferated the market. The DJI Chinese drone is very well in the market, has 85–90% market share. Then there's the military drones, which are very expensive, that have a lot of capability, but that typically makes it a barrier to the market that we wanted to address, which is more of an industrial drone, more of an industrial autonomous system that could survive the scrutiny of the FAA in various conditions that were beyond visual line of sight, or all the different rules that control the drone today are going to be weighed by the FAA for package delivery or for our inspections, as long as you have a drone or an autonomous system that can meet the requirements of the FAA for waivers. And so we focus that specifically, and that's our core niche.
So this is not a toy, this is to get the job done.
That's correct.
All right. And what industries benefit the most from Flint Hills drones, and how are they using them?
Yeah, because it's an industrial grade autopilot that's FAA waiverable, it can really benefit any industry. One thing that I've noticed is the military has since has adapted and evolved over the past 5 years, specifically because of the Ukraine wars, the Israeli wars, and the use of smaller, more expendable drones versus the more expensive drones. But you still have to have the capability to do like what our drones will do, which can fly 60 miles away, 60 miles an hour, have precise navigation. They can take off and land within centimeter accuracy. Those are all kind of military requirements in my mind that also require the environment that the military has to be exposed to, which is high winds and other environmental factors. So the industrial drone that we've developed is not an expensive military drone, but it's definitely filling that military niche. Now, we created the drone primarily to be able to do infrastructure inspections or tap into package delivery. Even our electric drones have the capability of lifting 40 pounds in addition to their own weight. So that's a sizable package that is not normal. The smaller, more hobby grade drones, like I mentioned, the DJI drone, they're very capable drones, but they can't fly in high winds. They can't lift a lot of weight because they're mainly intended to be for right in front of your face to be able to do inspections and stuff and take video. So they serve a niche, but ours is definitely evolving into industrial and military capable.
And those DJI drones have a lot of problems with the flyaway, where it hits a gust of wind and then it's 10 miles away.
Well, the smaller drones, for sure, DJI is definitely scaling them up, and American manufacturers are building what we call multi-rotor drones that can lift 12, 15 pounds in addition to their own weight, and they can handle 10 to 15 mile an hour winds. But we've tested ours in 50 mile an hour winds. Last time I checked, Kansas is a pretty windy state, and so with testing it in those kind of extreme winds and the environment we have give us the capability to have additional market support.
Where do you see the drone technology evolving in the next 5 to 10 years?
Well, that's a really good question. So there are a couple of things that are going on in the market. One is the advanced air mobility market, which I like to call the flying car, basically, but it's a vertical takeoff and landing aircraft that can take off and pick up passengers at an airport and take them downtown and land in downtown.
So it's not the Jetsons, but close.
But close, yeah. But that platform, there's a lot of money being spent on coming up with a new platform for that specific application. It's going to be a manned system at the beginning. So advanced air mobility is a manned system, and they're looking at various propulsion, various power systems, and various platform technologies, and that's really cool, and that's very revolutionary. But the autonomous system, we've already perfected, and our systems can migrate to that platform, whatever the market chooses in that area, to eventually, I think it's a 5 to 7 year horizon, maybe longer, depends upon the FAA, to be able to take the manned pilot out of the aircraft of the advanced air mobility system and make it fully autonomous. So we're already there and ready to address that part of the market.
Perfect. I hope you're watching, Elon, because I think you'd have fun with this. What can you tell us about the real world applications for FHS drones and how they made a significant impact?
At the beginning and throughout the last 7 to 10 years, we've used our drones for inspection of wind turbines and wind farms. It's a wind farm, so you need to have a certain size. Laws of physics say that a helicopter is a really good platform for that, as long as it's very autonomous and it can fly in precision so it doesn't collide with the infrastructure, which a lot of the smaller drones have a tendency to do. So we've done that, and pretty much we're giving them, the wind turbine and farm owners and operators, the initial tools that they needed to figure out how they were going to use the drone technology to inspect the turbine, the blades, and the warranty inspections required for managing those operations. And so we think we were a pioneer in that industry. One of the biggest things that we've done, though, is the emergency response application. And what we've realized is to provide long endurance, heavy lift capability in lots of different unique environments. We can't wait for the winds to die down to go and try to find someone that's in a flood. And so we've been called by emergency responders, and we're on the list today to call. If they have a really serious, hard problem, we will deploy our drones in very harsh environments. And so I think that's one of the things we've done well. And again, back to the military aspect of that, they finally realized that they don't need $1 million drone to do the work. They can actually, but they can't have a hobby grade either. Mm-hmm. They need to have something that can do their environment. And the $50,000 to $100,000 drone segment is exactly where we're at.
Yep, happy medium. Okay, so how has your leadership and background shaped the direction of the company and its mission?
Well, I came from the Boeing company, and I worked for IBM. So I've worked for some pretty big companies.
Way smarter than I am.
Well, maybe, but I doubt it. Basically, I am an engineer, and I've learned a lot about technology, both information technology as well as aerospace. And I took both of those and built those into FHS. But one of the things that I did for Boeing, and I thought it was something that's really valuable to a startup company, is the ability to understand the customer, the ability to find what their requirements are, what the government wants to spend money on in order to solve hard problems, whether it be the Department of Energy, the Department of Commerce, or the Department of Defense. We have worked with all of those agencies solving hard problems. And I have, because of my background with Boeing, I've been able to use the other side of my brain, the non-engineering side, that allows me to write effective proposals and communicate with the customer. And I become a very valuable asset to them as an advisor to them on drone technology.
Perfect. I love it. What role does autonomy play in the development of your drones, and how does it improve efficiency?
Yeah, so you want to become as autonomous as you can. And the market is flooded with semi-autonomous drones, not fully autonomous drones. So when I say fully autonomous, once you program it to do a certain mission, there's no human involved other than an intervention because something went wrong, or you want to change your plan on the fly. That's part of the training and the drone autonomous technology that you want. So one of the things that you have to do to have full autonomous capability, you have to be able to place the drone outside and through the user interface of the computer and the ground station and the radio communication, be able to launch it. And then from there, it's fully autonomous to go and do its mission based on its endurance and based on the specs of the particular drone you're worried about. So the full autonomy means I've programmed it, it flies its mission and comes back and lands within centimeters of where it started and still in good shape and ready for its next mission.
Can you describe a breakthrough moment when you realized that the company was going to succeed?
Oh, I knew it was going to succeed at the very beginning, mainly because of our customer relationships. I talked about the Kansas National Guard, the Adjutant General. Another thing that we did early on, and that still exists today, is I have very strong relationships with some major universities. I partnered with Kansas State University early on. I embedded them into our training, into our ground station, into our drone capabilities. I taught them how to do that. We were their adjunct professors, and the initial courses that they offered, we actually did that. And that relationship today still exists. It's a very strong relationship. And so I'm working with K-State even today to build additional drone capability for both the company as well as them.
All right, go Cats. And let's see, the next question. How does FHS approach innovation, and what are some future projects that you are excited about?
Yeah, one of the keys to success is you always have to look at where the technology is going.
Mm-hmm.
I always say that you're not going to learn a lot about technology if you go to a drone show. You're going to go and learn about technology by going to the CES show in Las
Mm-hmm.
Vegas, because that's where the technology is. Smart cities, smart cars, smart agriculture, smart sensors. Those things are developed for various segments, not necessarily to be adapted to drone technology. What we've been able to do is build an autonomous system that's open to the future of sensor technology. And then you bring in those smart sensors to be able to keep the drone mission fresh and ready for the next generation. So we've always looking at the future, looking at future technology roadmaps, and having a firm understanding of that so that we can integrate that and rapidly prototype and test that technology. That's the core of Flint Hills Solutions. We are a systems integrator. We integrate future technologies. We've perfected the autonomous system so the platform flies perfectly, but now it's all about the mission. What camera do I want? What sensors do I need? What eyes do I need in order to do a particular mission for a market?
All right. So he's built the platform. You just have to figure out what you want to do with it.
That's exactly right.
Next question is, what is the most surprising use of drones that you've encountered since starting the company?
Yeah, so the obvious thing when you think of drones, you think of an electrical optical camera, or thermal image camera, or even a LiDAR that is able to 3D map infrastructure indoor or outdoor. One of the things that surprised me is, again, is how to provide not only package delivery, but maybe even kinetic capability. Able to provide lethal force to in a military environment in order to have that as part of your arsenal of war capability.
Mm-hmm.
So I've seen that happen a lot. I've been asked and have successfully integrated some kinetic capabilities onto our drones. A lot of people want to do it, but again, a multi-rotor or a drone that's not able to lift the weight of the kinetic capability you want is not applicable. It's not a good match. But our systems, because they lift so much weight and they're perfect flying machines, it's the integration of just about anything you want to put on a drone is what we've been able to do.
Do you think you could outrun a drone going 60 miles an hour with a Gatling gun? I don't. And then, how do you ensure the quality and durability of your drones in harsh environments?
Well, the quality is a big important thing. I have developed the drones a lot by very careful source selection of the components and the technologies that we integrate. So our make-buy decisions, what we make, what we buy, have a lot to do with quality. One of the things that are driving the technology today is compliance with the National Defense Authorization Act that says if you want to work with state, local, and federal governments, you have to have an American or American ally solution. So part of our new standard of looking at, and we've always done that, we've always been patriots and try to build our systems in America with American ally solutions. But now we're very careful all the way down to the nuts and bolts to make sure that our supply chain is secure and we're doing the right thing. The quality piece goes even further into if you want to be in the national airspace, if you want to fly over 400 feet in the sky, if you want to fly beyond visual line of sight, if you want to do these hard things with drones, the FAA is involved because you're in the national airspace. And so not only are we 107 pilots, but we make sure that our drones have FAA waiverable solutions, that we can actually get the waivers from the FAA because they trust us with respect to the quality of our systems, the safety protocols that we have put on the drones, in order to do this more industrial use of the drone.
Perfect. So they're not going to fall apart like your IKEA cabinets. Okay. And then the last question we have for you, looking ahead, what's the next big goal for Flint Hills Solutions?
I think we've taken, in the last 4 or 5 years, we have built a dozen drones. And we use it for research and development of the next generation of sensors.
Mm-hmm.
And I call these flying test beds. These flying test beds have a high technology readiness level. They've been designed and engineered, and all that intellectual property is available. So the drones are ready for production. And the intellectual property allows you to build to print and build the drone that you want. The dozen drones that we built over the last few years, we built an ag drone that can precisely place chemicals or fertilizer on a couple of acres out of 80 that need it. We scan the 80, we come back, and then we go and we spray the 2 acres that need it. That's precision agriculture to the max. We built an inspection drone. We built a drone that can fly beyond visual line of sight and deliver a 20-pound package from an Amazon delivery center to a home. All those drones now are flying test beds, and they're ready for someone to take it, stand up a manufacturing, a sales team, and go to market.
That's absolutely amazing. And I've loved everything that I heard so far. I think if you want to get into this, or if you want to learn anything about this, let me know in the comments, or I will drop my number down below. This is a great opportunity to get into the future. So just jump in if you're ready. I'm Jeremy. It was nice to talk to you. And this is Roger.
Thank you very much.
And you have a beautiful day.